Hey guys, welcome to CakeWalk Cambridge. I'm Aisha, and today we're going to start with the fourth segment of Chapter 14, Coordination and Response. This segment is one of the most important segments of this chapter, and it's something that that is allotted many marks. Okay, so you just cannot afford to mess this up. So hopefully today I'll be able to break it down to you and for you, so you understand every part of this chapter extremely well, and you're thorough with the concepts. So let's get started. Okay, so now firstly you see two new terms here, homeostasis or homeostasis, however you say it, and negative feedback. Okay, so homeostasis. So I have basically here combined both the core and the supplement level definitions. Okay, so make sure you write this full answer. Okay, homeostasis is the maintenance of a constant internal environment and the control of internal conditions within set limits. Okay, so basically, homeostasis means that, let's look at your blood sugar level. As I explained earlier, your blood sugar level has to be within set limits. Okay, so homeostasis is maintaining the blood sugar level within set limits, within these values. So, supposing there is some specified quantity in your body and it has to be within 12 grams and 14 grams. So, homeostasis makes sure that it's within that. Or let's look at body temperature. Um, you know, um, your body temperature is usually around 37 degrees Celsius. So let's say between 36 and 38 degrees Celsius. What maintains your body temperature within those set limits? It's the mechanism of homeostasis. And it is controlled by negative feedback. Okay. So let's look at how this works. Okay. So first you have so let's look at body temperature. Okay. So conditions in body change from set points. So supposing your body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, but you've gone to this really cold place and it's like really cold, okay? Like you've gone to Canada when it's snowing. So that means your body, the temperature is much lower. So this change is detected, okay? So in your brain, there is this part called the hypothalamus, which is a thermoregulatory center, which detects temperature changes, okay? So your brain detects this temperature change, and so there are mechanisms to correct this change, okay, that are activated. So some of these mechanisms are discussed later in this chapter, so I will not get into it now so I don't confuse you all or anything. But corrective mechanisms are activated, and the conditions, that means if your body temperature is returned to 37 degrees Celsius, and so these corrective mechanisms are switched off. Then another condition may be changed, and this cycle repeats. So this is found, this chart, this kind of circle is found in your textbooks and online. And I find it really helpful to explain the concept of how negative feedback and homeostasis work. So very often when they ask you about maintaining a constant internal environment, you're going to go for homeostasis as your term. And to to bring back the body conditions from a different value, to bring it back to set limits, I would use negative feedback. But both of them could be used. So there is this past paper, I'm not sure which year, but they've asked you about what is the term used to describe maintaining a constant internal environment. Homeostasis is the answer, and they are accepting negative feedback. Okay, so yeah, that is basically homeostasis and negative feedback. You need to be thorough with the definition because that comes for like a good 1 mark, and every mark counts, trust me. It's better to lose your 1 or 2 marks at analysis questions, etc., than on definitions. Trust me. Like I've done the whole calculation and it's much better that way. Okay, now we're going to go for glucose concentration. That's your blood sugar concentration. Okay. So it starts over here. So your blood glucose level measured as blood passes through the pancreas. So your glucose level is measured. Okay. Now, if your glucose level is too high, you don't need to know this term. If it is too high, your pancreas produces insulin. As we did in the previous segment, pancreas produces insulin, and this insulin helps convert glucose to glycogen in the liver, and the glycogen is stored in the liver, and so your blood glucose concentration is normal. Okay. Now, on the other hand, if your blood glucose concentration was too low, then the pancreas produces glucagon. Okay. Now here you need to be careful. Glucagon and glycogen are different words. Know the spelling correctly. So the pancreas produces more glucagon, which then causes the liver to convert glycogen to glucose to increase the blood glucose level. So there's glycogen in the liver that is stored, and this glycogen is converted to glucose. Okay, and this causes the blood glucose level to increase. So just remember, high blood glucose, pancreas produces insulin, liver converts glucose to glycogen, stored in liver, blood glucose concentration normal. Low glucose concentration, pancreas produces glucagon, liver converts glycogen to glucose, higher blood glucose concentration level. Okay, so this is basically your control of glucose. This comes for let's say around minimum 4 marks. So you should really know this process well. And just to write convert the glucose. So basically, when you state the hormone that is either glucagon or insulin, you get 1 mark. Stating that pancreas produces it, you get 1 mark. Stating the conversion that is glucose to glycogen or glycogen to glucose, you get 1 mark. And for mentioning liver, like stored in the liver or occurs in the liver, you get another mark. So you need to be really careful with all your terms, include all of them. Okay. Okay, so diabetes type 1 is caused by the pancreas not producing enough insulin. So this causes the blood glucose level to be extremely high. Why? Because insulin is a hormone that helps the conversion of glucose to glycogen, which lowers blood glucose levels. Okay, so basically, so the two things your syllabus requires you to know is the symptoms and treatment. Okay, so symptoms. So firstly, you'll have glucose in the urine. So the blood glucose concentration is so high that some of it is filtered out by the kidneys and passes through the urine. So as I taught you in the excretory system, usually glucose is absorbed back into the blood by active transport or diffusion. But because the glucose is so high in the blood, some of the glucose has to be excreted. Okay, so you have high blood glucose levels. You start getting thirsty. Why? Because glucose lowers the water potential of the body because glucose is soluble in water. So water keeps getting drawn out of cells. So you need to replace that water so you get thirsty. Okay, then you need to go to the toilet a lot and lethargy. You feel tired or you have low energy. Okay, so these are some examples of the symptoms of diabetes. And treatment one is injecting insulin. I've got like a few of my grandmother's friends actually inject insulin, like before meals or whatever. And honestly, that sounds really painful. So I'd suggest to you, setting studies aside, careful. Just be careful of your blood sugar levels. Okay. Then that is monitoring your blood sugar levels throughout the day. Physical activity, that is burning calories, etc. You use up energy. And then diet to avoid too much excess sugar. You know. Also, there was this one question where they asked a person has a bowl of rice. What exactly happens after this person has a bowl of rice? It was an MCQ. So, what basically happens after this person has a bowl of rice is that your pancreas releases insulin. Insulin converts this glucose to glycogen because rice is a carbohydrate which is broken down to maltose and then finally to glucose. So, insulin is released to convert this glucose to glycogen, and so your the level of glucagon in your body decreases, the level of insulin in your body increases, the level of glucose in your body decreases, and the level of glycogen in your body increases after all of this. Okay, so you just need to remember. So initially there's an increase in glucose. So to stop this increase in glucose, you produce more insulin and it is converted to glycogen. So the level of glycogen then rises. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, now we're gonna go to the skin. Okay, so basically today we're gonna cover stuff that is operated by homeostasis and negative feedback. Okay, so the skin. So this is a section through your skin. You should be able to name all of these parts here. Okay, not all. Okay, yeah, all. Okay, so we're gonna go through all of them. Okay, so first you have a hair. Okay, a strand of hair that you should be able to know. And if you get to label this in your paper, you are extremely lucky. Okay, now we're gonna go in this order. So right below the hair, this little muscle is called your hair erector muscle. Okay, it is attached directly to the hair. Okay, and it looks like this. So it basically helps to like if keep your hair flat or erect. Okay, so it contracts and relaxes. Okay. Then after that, over here you have the sebaceous gland. Okay, you should be able to identify it. Okay, Over here you have the sweat gland, always this coiled little thing below. In this layer, the last layer, okay, is always your sweat gland, okay, and this will be your pore through your skin through which sweat is secreted, okay. Um, Here you have capillaries, okay, that are red and blue that you can see. The first level is called your epidermis level. Then you have dermis, okay. You don't have to know this. This layer basically has adipose tissue, which is fatty tissue. The purpose of it is to prevent heat loss, so it keeps you insulated, okay. Then if you can look here, you have your nerve ending. You can call it a nerve ending, and this is your nerve. Okay, we've already gone through this in segment 14.1. Sweat gland, then this is your hair erector muscle, and this is an arteriole, okay, which is a branched version of an artery. So this is basically a section through your skin, okay, have this memorized. Do the same thing with this that you did for the eye, okay, so you can, like, I personally wasn't good at naming all of these things, and it took me and my best friend a really long time to get all of these right, so I suggest you start practicing now. And this is the last part. This is basically what happens in a cold environment and a warm environment. So first, I just want to explain to you when there is a temperature change, the hypothalamus in your brain is what detects this, okay? I've already stated this term before, but I'm just going to write it down here because your syllabus requires you to know that the brain detects this change. You should be able to state it. Okay, so hypothalamus thermoregulatory center in the brain. Okay, it detects a change. Okay, so now we're first gonna go through what happens in a warm environment. Okay, so when it's warm, sweating obviously increases. Okay, if you've probably been to like a desert or like this really hot place, or probably when you're on your school ground working out or something, it's extremely hot, especially if you're in India. Okay, sweating, you sweat a lot because when what happens is when sweat is produced, your sweat evaporates, and as you know, evaporation has a cooling effect. Don't state this in your paper. They don't like you to state that in your paper. But basically, when you evaporate, the molecules with high energy, that is where it's warmer, are removed from the surface. So the average kinetic energy of molecules decreases, so the temperature decreases. Okay, so it raises heat loss. You have no shivering. Okay, vasodilation occurs. So arteries basically widen. Arteries near the surface of the skin widen, so that more blood flows through near the skin. Okay, so that means more of the heat can be lost. Okay, because obviously there's heat in your blood, so it causes a greater rate of heat loss. Okay, shunt vessels constrict. Okay, shunt vessels are basically, I'm just gonna like draw it out for you. I should have probably attached a picture. I'll probably do that. So this, okay, okay, so this is your shunt vessel. Shunt vessel, okay. So over here, your so and this is an arteriole. This is a capillary. So over here, so basically what happens is it dilates. So more blood passes through here, and these shunt vessels constrict. So less blood passes through here, and more passes near the skin. Okay, and your hair lays flat. Okay, so this is because it increases the surface area for evaporation. Okay, so your hair erector muscles probably relax to like let your hair lay flat. In a cold environment, you obviously don't sweat, instead you shiver. So shivering is basically when small bursts of energy are released via rapid muscle contraction. Okay, and energy is, whenever energy is released, there's probably thermal energy that's involved, so that helps to keep you warm. Okay, vasoconstriction occurs where arteries become narrower to reduce blood flow near the skin, and shunt vessels dilate, so more blood passes through here. Okay, and your hair is stands erect to trap heat. Okay, so basically guys, this was your 14.4. I hope this helped you. Yes, every video is a little longer than what I usually do, but that's because there are so many new terms and so much to explain. But I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. You can always email me. I will always be there for you. Please like this video and share this video if it helped you. Subscribe to my channel if you feel all my videos will help you in the future to score marks. And yeah, that's basically it. Subscribe to my channel and don't worry about this. We'll get through it together.